Greetings dear aspirants, welcome to today's current affairs session of Civilspedia. Today we'll be discussing about Dongria Kondh tribes, about the city gas distribution project and about APEC, the Asia Pacific Economic Forum under the prelims topic, and about the US-China Trade War and its implications under the mains topic. So let's move on with our first prelims topic, Dongria Kondh tribes. So when we are studying about our tribes, already when we studied about build tribes, I have given some template of keywords which you need to remember. What is their location, in which state or district they reside, and what is their language, what is the religion that they follow, and if they are celebrating any festivals, and if that particular tribe is a particularly vulnerable tribal group, or also called as PVTG. So Dongria Kondh tribe has been in recent news for these things. So let's move on to about the Dongria Kondh tribes. So they are part of the larger Kondh tribes. Don't confuse this with Gond tribes. Gond tribes are different, Kondh tribes are different. Now if you see Kondh tribes, they are largely concentrated in parts of Odisha, West Bengal, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. So Dongria Kondh tribes largely reside in the Nyamgiri hills in the district of Rayagada in the state of Odisha. So they are classified as a particularly vulnerable tribal group. Please remember this. And they speak Kuvi language. It is pronounced as Kuvi. And the religion they worship is the mother goddess, the environment which they worship, also the nature. So in the name of Niyam Raja. So they celebrate Niyam Raja festival annually in the month of February every year. And they also celebrate the seed festival, which is the sowing festival, also called as the Bijun Parab festival every year. And they also are famous for their hand-woven shawls called as Kapda Gandha. So this particular tribe was in news for the past 1 decade because Vedanta, the erstwhile Sterlite Industries Limited, want to mine the bauxite which is highly concentrated in this Nyamgiri hill range. But these tribals resisted because it was their natural place of living. So this is the recent news. Now, even now Vedanta is trying to establish its presence here in these hills, but these tribals are resisting. But now these tribals are being arrested in the name of having Maoist links. So that was the recent news because they were arrested in the name of committing atrocities. So let's move on to our next topic, the city gas distribution project. You need to keep 3 things in mind. Here it is about the city gas distribution project and about the different types of natural gases, PNG, CNG and LPG, and about the PNGRB, the Regulatory Board for the Petroleum and the Natural Gas. So city gas distribution project is to thrust the promote of usage of the clean fuel, which is also environmental friendly, and it is also cheaper and convenient to use. In order to establish this particular project, networks have to be created across various cities of India. So development of CGD networks for the uninterrupted supply of 2 things. One is the cleaner cooking fuel and next thing is the transportation fuel. So they have targeted 4 segments. Under this clean cooking fuel, they intend to supply the piped natural gas for the domestic consumers, commercial consumers and the industrial consumers, and CNG, the compressed natural gas, which is used instead of petrol and diesel in the automobile segment. So if this particular project is established, so they have now completed inviting the 9th bidding, and this whatever awards that have been given as a part of this 9th bidding, those projects have been launched by the Prime Minister. So once this project is completed within a decade, half of the country's population spread across these 26 states and union territories would be benefited. So the awards based on competitive bidding is being awarded by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board. Now with prelims point of view, try to know what is piped natural gas, what is compressed natural gas and what is liquefied petroleum gas. And if they tell that if LPG distribution is a part of city gas distribution project, no, it is not. Please remember this in mind. So let's move on to our Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board. So it is a statutory body formed as per the Petroleum and the Natural Gas Regulatory Act of 2006. So since its form, It has been formed to regulate refining, processing, storage, transportation, distribution, marketing, and the sales of all the petroleum and the petroleum products and also the natural gas. But it excludes the production of crude oil and the natural gas. So the upstream processing has been excluded. Upstream processing is excluded. So this includes both your midstream and your downstream processing of the petroleum and the natural gas, midstream plus downstream. So here also there can be a twist in the exam. So it will ask, it is also regulating the production of crude oil and the natural gas. If you see, they are a form of hydrocarbons. So the Directorate General of Hydrocarbons under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas handles this licenses or permissions with respect to the production of crude oil and natural gas. This is all you need to keep it in mind with this point of view. So in this particular Press Information Bureau publication, there was also some statistics given under this particular topic, the city gas distribution project. So as per the WHO database in May 2018, India has 14 out of the 15 most populated cities in terms of PM 2.5 concentration. So when you get a mains question in terms of pollution, maybe you can use this code. Statistics. And next thing is the share of natural gas with respect to cleaner energy question, or with respect to natural gas question. Maybe you can just jot down the statistics that the share of natural gas in India's basket is 6.2% as against the 23.4% globally. So in India, if you see in the state of Gujarat, it's just it's almost 25% of the entire coverage. So it is well ahead of the global average. And the third statistic is India's made a commitment in our COP21 Paris Convention in December 2013 that by 2030 our carbon emissions would be reduced by 33% of that of the 2005 levels. So this is a very common statistics which is being used. So you can also use this when you are attempting any mains question. So let's move on to our next topic, Asia Pacific Economic Forum. So as the name suggests, it is an economic forum, basically to have FTA or the free trade agreements in the future. So it is that forum which consists of countries which are located in the Pacific Rim region, and also the countries from Asia that surround the Pacific Rim region. If you see, China is a member, Russia is a member, US, Canada, and other countries are members. So it was established in 1989. So 21 members are there. You cannot remember each and every names, but just remember India is not a member of APEC. India in fact tried to join APEC in the year 2011, but it was rejected on the condition that Indian landform is not a part of this Pacific Ocean region. Its headquarters is located at Singapore, and it is basically aiming to facilitate the business amongst the members of APEC. So when you are studying about APEC, just remember one thing in mind about the Bogor goals. So Bogor is a place in Indonesia, which is also a member of APEC. So they are striving for a free and open trade and investment in the Asia Pacific by 2010, when they first suggested these Bogor goals for industrialized economies and for 2020 for the developing economies. So this is all about the APEC. So the recent news was that annually APEC summit is being conducted across the different member nations on rotation basis, and this year they have not come up with any joint statement. A joint statement usually comes up at the end of the summit, but this time any joint statement has not come because the China wanted to include its BRI initiative as a part of the statement, but US was against it, and it is also under the backdrop of the US-China trade war. So let's study about the US-China trade war in our mains topic in a very brief manner. So you need to know what is a trade war. Trade war. So trade, economic. It's an economic conflict basically. So conflict between two countries where either of the countries can impose some of the trade restriction in order to block the trade of the other country. So when the trade is unbalanced, it is not stable, then they go for such trade wars. Let's know about the history of trade war in the latest slide. So now these trade wars can be of two types, either tariff based or non-tariff based. If you say the tariff barriers, so tariff is basically nothing but a tax, imposing a tax. So this tariff barriers can be of different types like import tariff, specific duty, anti-dumping duty, countervailing duty, protective tariff, etc. And if you see non-tariff barriers, they can have quotas, embargoes or sanctions. If you see the US-Cuban embargo, for example, or the economic sanctions against North Korea or against the Iran, for example. So let's move on to our topic, the US-China trade war. Now, since Trump came in, and from the starting of this year, 2018, Mr. Donald Trump is stressing too much on the America First policy, which is basically a protectionist policy. Now, China is well known for its protectionist policy, because now the US president demands China to open up its entire market. One thing. Second thing is to relax his intellectual property related rights. But China is not willing. So the US imposed trade sanctions in the name of steel and aluminium. In retaliation, China also imposed some taxes or tariffs towards US. So this war is continuing now. So it has implications for the entire world and also for country like India. So these two are global giants in terms of manufacturing, and to some extent also in terms of service. So when we are studying, we need to split into manufacturing and service for understanding sake. So what are the likely implications because of this trade war? So the entire global growth is likely to take a hit, because the IMF forecasted a growth of 3.9% for this year and also for the next financial year, but it has downgraded it to 0.2 percentage points to 3.7. So the current forecast stands now at 3.7%. And because of this, the global supply chain order is also likely to take a hit. Now you can ask me how it's going to affect the entire world, because every good goes through intermediate production process. Intermediate production process. And if this good, say for example, if you are taking one school bag, maybe an accessory for that school bag is produced in a neighboring country of China, maybe Vietnam, and then it goes to China, gets produced as a school bag, and then it's being exported to USA. So for many of the items, many countries are involved in this. So because of tariff, if a particular intermediary good cost also goes up, then the entire supply chain costs are likely to go up. Because most of the countries now want to come out of this China trap, because many of those countries have put up their manufacturing bases at China because of cheap labor. Now the other countries which are very much rich in cheap labor are Philippines, Indonesia, Bangladesh, for example. Now countries are trying to put up their bases there, but it is not a very easy task, because it will take at least 2 to 3 years for them to settle. By that time, the overall cost of the goods is likely to increase, and totally it will affect the global growth. And because of these escalating tensions, multilateral rule-making bodies like WHO will also lose the authority. If you see in this current 2018 mains question, it was a question on the backdrop of the trade war. What are the likely suggestions that India can make to make this WTO body stable? Because even WTO's negotiations are failing with respect to this US-China trade war. And to the extent, to the worst extent, US will also pull out from the WTO. So that is the situation now. And the investor sentiments are likely to slide, because when manufacturing is not really going good or healthy in all these manufacturing economies, then the investors are likely to pull out their amount, and also they will not invest any new amount. Similar is the case for India. Now the investor confidence in India is not too great, and the capital inflows towards India is also not flowing, because the US is also wanting to strengthen its currency system. Because of that, the dollar is becoming strong and the other currency markets are going low. So India's value has highly depreciated, and you can also see the lira crisis of Turkey and many such currency crises happening throughout the world. Because of this, the capital inflows market has come down, the FTA market has come down, and also the stock markets are fluctuating on a day-to-day basis. Because of this, the Indian currency is weakening. And one advantage is that the imports can likely become costlier because of imposing these trades and tariffs, and the exports may become cheaper, but it will again become costlier if the tariffs are imposed. So this is all the likely implications because of this ongoing US-China trade war. With this, we are winding up our today's topic. Please do comment, like and share the video, and please subscribe for Shankar IAS Academy channel for latest videos and updates. Thank you.